the entirety of the building with the sole purpose of warding off evil spirits from entering the Houses of Parliament. As to whether it's working or not, I will let you decide. Now the building is officially known as the New Palace of Westminster. This version has never been a royal residence, but the site has. This one's been here for around 150 years, burnt down in the fire in the 1830s and redesigned by Charles Barry and erected in around the 1860s. The previous one burnt down because the sneaky politicians were trying to burn ballot papers. Within this version of House of Parliament, you can find 100 staircases, 3 miles of corridor, a gym, a hair salon and a shooting range. It's also the only place in the entire United Kingdom that you can have a tax-free pint, meaning a pint of ale on tap is just 89 pence. First chance away with complete strangers on bridges today, ladies and gentlemen. Do give it a go. If they wave back, their hands are generally occupied and they're not going to be throwing rubbish underneath it. Now the first building we have here on the left-hand side is a black building with chimney stacks. But this building is famous as the expensive building ever built with taxpayers' money. It cost £200,000,000. Now to jack it out, they tried to make it everything proof. Bulletproof, bomb-proof, shatterproof, inside the walls there is a steel lining to prevent surveillance equipment from penetrating the building's exterior. But of course, for £250 million, it's not quite a scandal. Next on the left is the white building with 4 green concrete black blocks on it. This is the Ministry of Defence, also known as the iceberg of London, because 2/3 of that building are underground, including a nuclear fallout shelter. Knowing about her unnecessary dangerous destructive And so ahead we have the Golden Jubilee bridges, built in 2002 for the Queen's 50th year on the throne. They're surrounding the Hungerford Rail Bridge in the middle, all 3 of which lead to Charing Cross Station on the left-hand side. The building is a 2-curved roof. It's designed to look like something in particular. I've been told it looks like a crown, a jukebox, a toaster. One gentleman told me that building looks exactly like a white bird. But it is supposed to look like a steam train coming out of the tunnel. And here on the right we have the South Bank Centre. I was sitting on the top of London, first of the project of 1951, the Festival of Britain, designed to lift the spirits after the end of World War II. The Royal Festival Hall is home to the London Philharmonic Orchestra. And next to it here we have 2 smaller concert halls, the Queen Elizabeth Hall and Purcell Room. And just behind it, the building with the spiked roof, is the Hayward Art Gallery. Now on top of the Queen Elizabeth Hall you may have noticed that there is a boat. It's not a real boat, never fear, there's not a shipwrecked captain in there desperate to get out. It's an artistic installation and a hotel room for 2. It's called the Room for London, or the Room of the View, and it'll set you back £400 a night to stay there. It's so popular you have to enter a lottery to be considered for it. Right-hand side, we have the corporate structures and electronic advertising street. For a multi-story car park, and Prince Charles basically said it looked like the back end of a nuclear power station. Don't let the exterior pitch you off though. Inside is pretty from a lovely building. The largest of which is the Olivier, codenamed to the building's first artistic director, Sir Olivier, and is a statue commemorating his dedication to the arts of the ancient world. Tickets are just £15 to return in advance. But if the classics aren't for you, don't be ashamed to admit it, because the next building here on the right is of more interest. The white building with the letters I, T and B blazoned across the front of it. That and the tower directly behind it are home to the London studios. So they make more than just ITV shows. Make the creme de la creme of British civilization. Educational programmes, like the Jeremy Carr show. It's a marginal improvement because they also make QI, Have I Got News For You, Taking Me Out, The X Factor, The Graham Moore Show, The John Rush Show, the list goes on. And to bring the audience to any of those productions, you need to register your interest online and they can watch it down completely free and set that film. Next here on the right we have the great brick building with the Festival Tower. In the 1930s it was first built. It was a meat production warehouse, cold store and home to those famous little OXO stock cubes. Since then it's been sold on but retained its name, the OXO building and the OXO Tower. Along the bottom we have a selection of shops. In the middle, luxury apartments, and at the top is a Harvey Nichols run restaurant, where the price does reflect the name, as it will set you back £80 per person to dine in there, and that doesn't even include food. Like the cash on credit, you have two options in London. You can either come in cash, or you can come in cash. Now, rather controversial was first erected in the tower, as this is the Royal Quarter, we will believe it to advertise on there as a different. Wondering how they ordered 3 stained-glass windows printed in random geometric shapes, and by chance they were set a circle across the double. So put it accidental and not that actually expected to well, they did get away with that one. Coming under the black Brian's bridges, here 2.5 bridges are shown back at sea. Between the road and Brown Bridge here we have these mysterious red pillars, but we will tell you more about those on our return journey. Just here on the left we have an emergency safety for finishing it, just at the same there. But once we've got to the now, St. Paul's is not the first version of St. Paul's that has been bought in total. Its predecessor burned down in the Great Fire in London in 1666. Purposely redesigned by Sir Christopher Wren, exactly 365 feet high, 1 foot 10 centimetres here. And at that height, there was a tallest building in London in 1710. Construction finished until the 1960s when the tower was built. Many famous people are buried there, including Winston Churchill, our wartime Prime Minister, Alexander Fleming, who invented penicillin, Florence Nightingale, who founded the first school in nursing, the UK's only female Prime Minister in history, and it was also home for the wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer in London. Now here on the right is my absolute favourite theatre in London, the white building with the thatched roof. It is the Glover Theatre. It's as an authentic reproduction of Shakespeare's Globe as one can possibly get, made using materials and techniques that were available in the 16th century when the original was made. So it's completely made by hand and held together with wooden pegs. No electricity was used in the making of this building. It's an open-roof theatre, just like the original, meaning that you are subject to British weather. But it is closed throughout the winter. Recently opened on Shakespeare's birthday, the 23rd of April. If you've never been to the Globe, do give it a visit, because standing tickets are only £5, and the actors act in the same style as the original players. They jump into the crowd with you, they throw stuff at you, and in return, in some productions, they even want you to throw rotten vegetables at them. Now, the original site of the Globe would be here on the right, behind this black glass building, FT, Financial Times headquarters, and due to its proximity to the anchor pub here, the pub with the red windows, Shakespeare and his play used to get dressed there before plays, though then it was known as the Bankside Tavern. The Anchor is one of the oldest sites of a public house in the UK. Samuel Pepys wrote to the Great Fire of London from there, and Charles Dickens was also said to frequent that pub. Now here on the right, nestled between two buildings, you can see a black, red and gold ship. This is a recreation of the Golden Hind, the ship that Sir Francis Drake sailed around the world in 1577. He's the first Englishman to successfully circumnavigate the globe. You can go on there, see what life would have been like as a medieval sailor, but as that ship is only a few feet longer than the boat we are currently on, the synopsis is cramped and rather unpleasant. Now that ship was in fact a pirate ship. Reason being is that when Sir Francis Drake returned, he came back with £25 million of the gold stolen from Spanish and Portuguese sailors. But instead of being punished for the crime of piracy, he was rewarded with £10,000, a knighthood, and dinner with Queen Elizabeth I herself, because that 25 million was enough to release an actual debt over. Then recognised we are going to test your observation skills for everyone on board today. Please point to London Bridge. Fantastic is the bridge behind us, rather nondescript looking bridge, but there has been a London Bridge since 50 AD. So London Bridge has all of the history of London, but Tower Bridge, the bridge ahead of us, is often mistakenly called London Bridge because it has all of the iconic glory. I'll tell you a bit more about their cases of mistaken identity on our return journey, because here on the right hand side we have an absolute stunner floating in the water, the HMS Belfast. At 11,500 tons, she was the largest light cruiser in the British fleet in World War II. Those guns at the front are still fully operational and can fire 14 miles in any direction, currently pointed exactly at Croydon, and by no mistake. Painted in her North Atlantic camouflage colours, she took part in D-Day, Russian convoys, the Korean War, and the complete operation from Asia after the end of World War II. In the 1960s, she was able to solve the crash, anyone under the age of 60 Now here on the right we have a glass-domed building that is City Hall, home to the Greater London Authority, and it's where Mayor Boris Johnson, for lack of a better word, really works each day. He is a rather strange fellow. He calls this building the Onion. Others have called it the Armadillo. Someone once told me it looked like Darth Vader's helmet, but like the other buildings, the Greater London skyline has no official name. Now coming up to the Tower Bridge here, it's not best to way that people on this bridge, because if they wave back, you get 5 years of food and stuff. But wave away, make some noise, get their attention. There's your 5 years. If you want 10, all you need is a black way, spit on your feet. Now the reason we have that deep position is because this would have been the last bridge that sailors would have seen before going out to sea. A journey that actually took them about 5 years. And it was then if you were to watch your loved one on this bridge, wait for them when they move back to you, you'd be returning to see them again. Isn't that sweet? Can I have a hug? Lovely. So the section of the river that we're in now is the older port of London. Busiest port in the world right up until 1914. Began to close down due to the development of refrigeration and containerisation. In its heyday, some 50,000 ships used to come through here each year, and it was said you could get across the river merely by hopping from boat to boat. Now as we turn around here, you are going to have a magnificent view on your left-hand side of the Tower Bridge and flanked by the City of London skyline. I'm certain whatever your social network poison is, this is what you'll be posting. To Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr. I can't really keep up these days. But it's selfie and follow guys. open to allow large ships through. So she used to have some 14 times a day in the 1900s. Now you'd be lucky to see that happen that many times in a week. If you were inclined to watch the Tower Bridge open and close, go to the website and check out the opening times. This bridge opened in